I hate when games are censored for Western releases. We have Game of Thrones and fucked up horror movies. What's in Japanese video games that Americans can't handle? It's always cleavage that gets censored. Like, we don't have a movie called 50 Shades Darker, a sequel to a movie about sexual domination we liked so much we made another one. Nymphomaniac was on Netflix, for God's sakes, in the trending section for a while. When you go deeper beyond societal expectations, I think humans are all the same. Every culture deep down all shares the same dark, twisted thoughts and desires. But Japanese society is much stricter than ours. It's more rigid. There's less deviant wiggle room if you want to be an accepted citizen. So I think their crazy shit is more strangled than ours, and it comes out in their art. That's why hentai is so insane. It's why Japanese game shows are like a mental patient's fever dream. So if anything, their standards should be more stringent than ours, and yet during the localization process, we're the ones toning it down for our people. That does not make sense to me, and some of it's lateral moves. Like in Fire Emblem Awakening, there's a DLC called Hot Spring Scramble, and basically it exists to have an excuse to put Fire Emblem characters in bikinis, which I'm behind 100%. There's a few special images put in there showing the girls with their recently put on swimsuits, and it's all quite lovely. However, one of the characters, Tharia, is shown in a still image from behind adjusting her bikini bottom, but in the North American version there's a curtain covering that part of her. And the thing is, it only covers up the back butt part of her bottoms. You still see her bare ass where it meets the fabric. It just completely hides the material and makes it look like she's not wearing anything, which is hotter, so like what the fuck's the goal there? Also in Fire Emblem Fates, them removing the waifu petting simulator from the North American version, like we were gonna go out into the world and pet random girls we saw on the street because we did it in a video game, but it was demeaning to women. The Japanese don't seem to give a shit, and it's their game. You can't judge another culture by your own standards like you have the only true perspective on an issue. I want to experience things as they're intended by the cultures who made them, not Americanized versions meticulously spoon-fed to me like I'm a child who can't handle other customs and traditions. I'm not against all censorship. Me hiding comments on my channel from nonsensical repeat offenders is censorship, and I'm behind that shit all the way. If you're trolling in a way that can't go anywhere interesting and there's nothing to it and you keep spamming separate videos with inane garbage, you're gone. If a baby is crying and you go put him in another room and shut the door, that's not you forfeiting against the baby. That's you removing yourself from within earshot of noise that does not contribute to your life. What I'm against is annoying censorship that makes no difference, like changing a character's costume to be less provocative. Let people design the way they want to. If it's too sexy for you, I'm sorry you're Mormon, but you shouldn't get to disseminate watered-down versions of all the stuff you don't like to the masses that don't agree with you. They've censored some Yu-Gi-Oh cards for shit's sake. Some of the female humanoid monsters were too suggestive, as if any 12-year-old is spreading his Yu-Gi-Oh cards out on the ground and jerking off onto all of them. Man, I can't handle the microscopic implied titties on this vampire. Nothing gets me hard like a 59 by 86 millimeter drawing. Oh, I'll tell you what the fuck else I'm sick of. I'm tired of people combing through individual pixels of game art and trying their very hardest to see offensive symbols or imagery hidden in places nobody put it. There's nothing there. You're seeing what you want to see because you enjoy the outrage. You need your fix. And if you don't get it, you get antsy and agitated. Oh, I'm starting to get pissed off that nothing's pissing me off lately. I need to do something about this. Destiny 2 had this armband controversy a while ago because one person thought they saw some weird obscure propaganda symbol I had never heard of, and I looked it up, and then I looked at the art, and it wasn't there. It just plain as day, plain as the lack of Jesus in your toast, as the lack of penises in the clouds, it was not there. What kind of trained vision do you have to have? Like you just scan every video game for any signs of whatever shit offends you, you keep in your database of outrage. Alright, the first screens for a gamer coming out, initiating swastika check, phase 1, sweep every fucking atom of this artwork, phase 2, sweep it again, because God knows if any of my kids play games with invisible swastikas in them, they're gonna be brainwashed into Nazis and buy out all the tiki torches in Walmart. Speaking of swastikas, World War II happened, Germany happened, Nazis happened, the Holocaust happened, it's history. And if you have a game that touches on that history, you don't get to say shit when they put swastikas in there. Can they change the swastikas to sunflower symbols, please? My second cousin is Jewish and he'd like to pretend humanity has never made any mistakes. Nobody should cater to you. Buy the games that don't offend your childish sensibilities. I have one more aside to make regarding sexy women in video games. You have to keep in mind, artists are drawing these women. They can be drawn to be anything. These dudes have the power to create their ideal woman, perfect in every way to their standards. And women who draw women can make them as strong and beautiful as they want, symbols of inspiration and empowerment, women every woman wants to be. If you could draw women in real life and have them come to life as fully formed, breathing individuals with coded personalities, why would you ever make ugly bitches? That's like baking a cake and being like, you know what? I think I want to make this a shitty cake. I feel like eating garbage trash cake right now. And you think I'm comparing plain and unattractive people to trash, and I'm not, I promise you, but it's not even relevant actually, because video game characters should not be held to the same standards as real life people. Average and ugly people in games are trash if they're not severely making up for it in personality. Every character is created to entertain the gamer. If you have a sight for sore eyes that offers nothing valuable in other departments, you have a bad character. If you have a gorgeous person that offers nothing valuable in other departments, you still have a bad character, but at least there's something to enjoy about them. Also, to respond to some people who commented about how it's always women that are sexualized and never men, I can tell you why, it's very predictable. Most gamers are men, and men are a lot less comfortable seeing their gender sexualized than women are. Those are just two facts, back to back. Women are much more used to it because it already happens all the time. You grew up with it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy that goes in circles non-stop. Men are a lot more cautious about their manhood or whatever, and they'll see something like Magic Mike, for instance, and basically force themselves not to enjoy any aspect of it because they are definitely not gay. Gaming's still a male-dominated culture, and there aren't near enough gay dudes to bring about that kind of sexy guy revolution in the mainstream space. If I were to offer my opinion on the matter, I'd say I'd be perfectly fine with not seeing sexualized men ever. I know it's self-serving, but that's why we have opinions, is to impose our will on the people around us. There is no larger reason than that. Well, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. You know what to do in the comments about gaming opinions and practices that annoy you, and I'll see you guys next time.